They say the three most important things in golf are location, location, location. And here at Rosen Shingle Creek, we're in the middle of the golf universe. St. Andrews is only 4,000 miles that way. Pebble Beach, 2,400 miles this way. And Augusta is only 343 miles in that direction. Of course, all of the attractions in Orlando are a lot closer, minutes away from Rosen Shingle Creek. And you'll discover that on this latest episode of The Traveling Golfer.
This lager comes from a place that's been brewing beer for longer than anyone else in America, where men and women have crafted amber gold in the caves below since before refrigeration. It comes from Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, and brings with it all the know-how that doing a thing well for nearly 200 years affords. Yuengling Traditional Lager. Respect. It's earned.
Pro shop at Shingle Creek, one of the few places that hasn't changed. It's always been a leader in merchandising. The rest of the golf course, a lot of changes. Augie Decker, head golf professional, and you've lived through a transformation here. That's always a little bit of a adjustment for a lot of people, but it looks like Shingle Creek came out pretty good.
We did. We couldn't be more pleased with the redesign with Arnold Palmer Course Design. It's been great to be a part of those changes and watch them as it's matured. We're very thrilled to be a part of it.
This took place over a number of months because it not only involved redesign of some holes, but creation of some new holes.
Correct, yeah. We actually eliminated 3 holes, 4, 5, and 6. On number 4, it used to be a long par 5. We made it now a challenging short par 4 with a nice kidney-shaped green. 5 is now going to be a par 3, which was par 4. Very challenging, elevated green, nice bunker complex to the right, elevated, very tricky hole. And then the next hole, 6, is a very challenging par 4, water all down the right, nice peninsula green going into the water. So it's really good. We're really looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks of the golf course. We've already had great reviews, so we're just very pleased.
Big change at the old number 9 also.
Yes, very big change. Used to be a long par 4. Now we've made it a long par 3. It's from the tips, it's 245 yards. It is our biggest green on the property, so you're going to need all the help you can get there. It's a very challenging hole from the tips. Obviously, the men's tee is a little bit better. I think it's 180. That hole is probably the biggest visual change that the golfer that played before will notice. So the other big change that we did was on our old 10 and 11 is now our 8th hole. They used to be 2 long par 4s, and now we've combined them, shortened the green a little bit closer, so it's about 600 yard par 5.
600 yards?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a challenge.
Tony, you can probably get there in 2.
Yeah, I got there in 2, yeah.
But it's a very challenging hole. The layup is very difficult. You've got OB left, water right, everything you want. What we've done on the par 5s too is a little bit smaller green complexes. They're elevated, so it makes that, if you do lay up, it makes that wedge a little bit more precise that you need to come into. Once we get to the back 9, you'll see 10 and 11 are similar holes with a little bit different on the green complexes, a lot of collection areas, allowing all types of handicap players to chip and run and putt, whatever they would like to do. So a lot more options around the greens.
Of course, Arnold Palmer Design created 3 new holes. Tell us about what they did.
So they created our 12th, 13th, and 14th hole now. It's like we have people that have played the golf course for the first time and had no idea that this was an addition. It just flows beautifully with the round. The 12th hole is a nice par 4, challenging off the tee. Got to be very precise there with a nice plateaued green there. And then our 13th hole is a long, slender par 5 with a green that's actually 40 yards long, but only 12 yards wide.
40 yards long. I can see some 3 putts coming on that green, even though they're supposed to be a little smaller for the par 5s. If you're on the wrong side.
Yeah, putting is going to be something that you're going to need to do well here. The undulation is very challenging. We keep our greens very fair as far as speed goes, but you really need to have a stellar short game to succeed out here. And then we have our 14th hole, which is probably the most feedback we've heard back. It's at a great part of the golf course where you're at that point in your round where you need to make some moves. You get a drivable par 4 with water all down the left. Take it on and drive it, you're more than welcome to, but you better be precise.
I got to see that one. That sounds like a lot of excitement.
It is. So the 15th hole, they did a lot of changes there as well. They actually moved the tee about 40 yards to the right. And you think, it's not that big of a change, but it really makes a difference on that viewpoint. It really brings a lot more water, which is on the left side of the green. 16, that's a nice reachable par 5 and 2. But again, the green is going to be perched up a lot smaller. You're going to have those collection areas. So you're going to have to be very precise if you're trying to go there in 2. And then again, with your wedge shot, you're going to have to be precise. And then the 17th hole is our signature hole. It's a nice long par 3 with water to the right. It's got a beautiful view of the resort behind it. Now that green is very treacherous. There's about a 10-yard slope right in the middle. So depending on where that pin could be, you could go the right way or the wrong way. So you have to be very accurate on that approach.
Title is Director of Golf. You need a director with an operation this big. Ryan Hosford, I'll tell you, I've never really seen a property so set up to handle groups, whether it's 20 or 120, but it looks like Shingle Creek's made for that.
No doubt, Tony. We host tens of thousands of group tournament outing rounds a year. We're set up with plenty of space, plenty of amenities, plenty of people that can handle that large of a group and really make your event special.
The best part about it was I flew into Orlando Airport. 15 minutes later, I was standing on the property doing an interview.
Straight shot down the 528, it doesn't get any easier.
When you have that kind of convenience, you want to make sure that your visitors have everything else taken care of for them. And in some cases, they don't even want to lug equipment. They don't have to here.
We have over 90 rental set, top of the line, brand new, just came out. We stay on the cutting edge every year with newer equipment. And we also have shoes, which most places don't have.
That's right, except for bowling alleys. They rent shoes, but you have them here also, and that really makes it easy for the people to come here. Hey, they may not have any idea that they're going to play golf. They're at a business meeting somewhere in the Orlando area. It gets done early. Wow, we've got 4 hours to kill. Bang, they can come right over and take care of that all right here. To get the real story behind the renovation of Shingle Creek, we visited the Arnold Palmer Design Company right down the street in Orlando. Stay tuned for this inside look.
Hi, David Glad here from Tour Edge Golf, golf's most solid investment. I'm the president and founder of Tour Edge, and I'm really excited to bring to you our Hot Launch 2 offset fairway woods. Real easy to hit the baby draw we all dream about, easy to get airborne, hit longer fairway woods, all from Tour Edge Golf.
The deeper center of gravity and the heavier sole weight really make this fairway wood easy to hit. The new, shallower face design lowers the center of gravity, making it easy to hit from tight lies. The offset hosel design is more offset than the previous model, which really makes it easy to hit that baby draw.
We dare you to find a better custom-fitted value in golf. Tour Edge is golf's most solid investment.
Arnold Palmer Design is located above the Pro Shop at the Bay Hill Club in Orlando. Thad Layton is the company's vice president and senior golf course architect. He gave us the inside scoop behind the intriguing redesign of Shingle Creek.
The renovation business is something that's really come about since the downturn of 2008. We think that the best golf courses over the next 10 to 15 years will be built on top of old ones. The catalyst for the renovation was the hotel expansion. I think they were adding something like 800 rooms. And they came to us with a land plan and said, hey, we've got to use this land. I think it was holes 3, 4, and 5 for the hotel expansion, but we have this old land on the periphery of the property that we can expand. They decided to cast a fresh set of eyes on their property, and they brought us in, and we talked about how we could make this golf course different in the Orlando market. It was a bit tricky, like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Shingle Creek is a unique property, not only in that it's a resort golf course, but they have high-level tournament play, USGA qualifiers, and things of that sort. So you've got two different needs. Our philosophical approach, Mr. Palmer particularly, thinks that golf should be a fun but challenging game. It should engage the mind and the soul of the golfer. So that is what we set out to do at Shingle Creek. You know, we wanted to make people think before they hit every golf shot. Every shot should have a reason. And as part of that at Shingle Creek, we didn't put bunkers on both sides of the golf hole. I mean, where the best place to be would be the center of the fairway and the center of the green. We scattered hazards throughout to, if you challenged a hazard, if you hit it near a bunker without going in it, you would have a shorter distance and a better angle. When we first started at Shingle, there were over 250,000 square feet of bunkers, and that's almost 6 acres of sand, which for a resort golf course, it can be beautiful, but at the same time, you know, it can be very penal as well, because bunkers typically catch the highest of handicaps. But there's plenty of fairway. We've got so much width at Shingle Creek now. So we reduced that square footage from almost 6 acres to a little under 2 acres. We decided to kind of break up these flyover areas with coquina, which is crushed shell, and we created kind of these coquina bunkers that you can also drive carts through. So it helped us conceal the cart path and aesthetic improvement, but it also helped us add contrast where there was none. Number 2 is a par 5 at Shingle Creek. Before, there really wasn't a decision to be made on the second shot, and that's one of the hallmarks of any great par 5 is, you know, if you're in position off the tee, there's a decision to be made on the second shot. So we placed a series of cross bunkers across the fairway, so you can either go short, you can go left, you can go right, you can go long, trying to reach the green. But if you get greedy and kind of flare the shot out to the right, you have a really difficult recovery to that green. The greens were one of the biggest changes, I think, at Shingle Creek. We took a philosophy that was basically containment golf, where you see kind of this dated mounding around greens, you know, 3 or 4 mounds with kind of this bold greens. And they also had bunkers that you had to carry on your approach. So we thought, hey, let's take those bunkers out. Let's bring the ground game into play for the higher handicaps, where they can keep the ball along the ground, run it onto the green. So we took that philosophy and flipped it on its side. And now we have crown greens. You know, you have to hit a really exacting shot. Even though those bunkers aren't there to carry, you have to have the correct weight and line to your shot to get it close to the pin. And one other solution that we came up with was they were really starved for a practice area. They didn't have a good area to go out and practice the short game. So we used that old complex for the 9th green to set the stage for a nice chipping green with a bunker and a 15,000 square foot family putting green, which is a great complement for resort, similar to the Himalayas putting course at St. Andrews is, you know, kind of what we had in mind there. We got all these interesting breaks and contours, and they can have an outing out there in the afternoon, and something pretty low key where everybody brings their putter and spends, you know, an hour or 2 on the putting green. Another one of the challenges at Shingle Creek was designing 3 new holes and trying to splice that back into the routing in a way that didn't feel disconnected. 12 is a medium length par 4 with bunkers actually on both sides of the fairway, kind of one of those rare occasions, but we've offset them. So you can take a conservative line to the left side of the fairway and kind of play towards that bunker that's out there about 300 yards from the back tee and really not worry about getting in there. And that'll give you a good angle into the green, and there's a nice sideboard slope coming in from the right, so you can use that. That'll collect a ball and run it close to the pin. The 13th hole is a par 5 that plays along a tributary to Shingle Creek. Beautiful setting, you know, some nice natural grasses that serve as the inside, and the creek, and the inside of the dog leg is the hazard. So if you want to play boldly, you know, take that creek on, you can reach the green into. It's a very interesting green. It's very deep. If the pin is all the way in the back, it can play as much as 3 clubs more with a series of steps leading up to that back pin. And the 14th is one of my favorite holes out there. We've got a new lake that we built, you know, to create fill for that property and create some elevation changes. But that lake serves as the hazard that guards this drivable par 4 that's very reachable. And the green is just sitting right down there hard by the water. And you can drive that green, but you've got to hit a premium golf shot to get it on that green. Plenty of room out to the right for players that want to avoid the issue, and they'll have a medium length shot into a green with a series of undulations and guarded by a mean little pot bunker right there splitting the green. The previous version of the 18th hole at Shingle Creek had a bunker right on the inside corner of the dogleg, which most people couldn't hit. You know, they certainly couldn't hit it over, so they'd have to play way out to the left and have a very difficult and long second shot into the green. So we took that bunker out, and we wanted to reward people that could play along the inside of that dogleg. You want a challenge on the 18th hole, so we moved that green a little bit closer to the water. So there's this really intimate feel as you're finishing up at Shingle Creek with water right next to the green. Philosophically, we think length is probably the worst solution to bring to any golf course renovation to make it more difficult. The most important things in our design process are aesthetics, agronomy, and playability. We call it the three-legged stool, and we think we did all of those things at Shingle Creek.
He's one of the most noted teachers in America. He has the Brad Brewer Golf Academy here at Shingle Creek. I don't like to come to the area without at least stopping in a little bit, even if I just eavesdrop on one of your lessons.
I appreciate that.
Well, I feel like I learn a little something every time I come here, and I think our viewers need to understand the tremendous advantage that can be taken when they take a vacation or a business trip, tack on a day, and get a full infusion of instruction with practice in between, as opposed to running out of the office for 45 minutes at home getting a quick lesson.
We have a lot of guests that come in and stay at the Rosen Shingle Creek, and we do a lot of stay, learn, and play packages.
Half day, full day, 4 day, what?
Our favorite package is a half day that can be blended into as many days as you desire. You know, if you're here for 3 or 4 days and you want to do 2 or 3 days of training based on where you're at and what you want to do, but the lion's share would be to break it into about a half of the program working on scoring zone and full swing.
But you take them out on the course at times too, don't you?
We love taking them on the golf course. You got to learn how to play, and you got to do that by getting on the golf course. Certainly work on the technique out here, but we want to do tactical and emotional control on the course. That's where you're going to be able to see it happen.
Do you get questions from the players about the changes on the course?
We do. We get a lot of requests to go out and teach me how to hit the shots around these greens. It's fun for us now to have challenging greens like what they have at Bay Hill, like a tournament type golf course. So you can teach strategy. You know, you can short side yourself here now. Before you couldn't. And so it's, you know, strategically placing the ball in the right spots, and then what are your options around the green? It's not necessarily always a flop shot.
Your website?
Go to bradbrewer.com.
Brad Brewer, right here. You got to check him out. Running a big operation like Rosen Shingle Creek requires a professional. We've got the professional. Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Leslie Menicini. Rosen Shingle Creek is now one of the largest hotels in the entire Orlando area, where there are many huge hotels. Every time I come, I can't believe how beautiful they are, and you told me that you just redid them.
We did. We have that Spanish Revival architecture we're very proud of. The idea of the Spanish Revival architecture is that of one to bring the outside in. So we had these big canvas drapes on them. We have the largest windows in all of Orlando in our guest rooms, and so why would you want to hide that magnificent view? We have 1,501 guest rooms, and if our guests really want to splurge and enjoy themselves, they can upgrade themselves way up to the 14th floor to the VIP lounge. It's a great place to stay. It's a great place to relax.
Well, it's just kind of reinvesting all the time that has brought a lot of awards to you people.
We're actually the recipient of the 4 Diamond Award for the property ever since our doors opened in September 9th of 2006, by the way, is Mr. Rosen's birthday.
No wonder you had to expand. You just needed the wall space for the plaque.
Exactly. Oh, darn, bad problem to have.
So you mentioned the restaurants. I know a big part of the property is the food experience here, and whether it's vacation or a business trip, they want a reward at the end of the day.
Absolutely, because the buyer is always looking for memorable and experiential. So what we need to do is reinvest constantly to give them and stay up with the trends, and sometimes ahead of the trends. What our concept was, we expanded Mi Casa Tequila Taqueria because it was so popular that big old Jefe margarita wouldn't fit in the room it was in. And then at the same time, that allowed us to get a little more trendy with Tobias, which is Tobias Burgers and Brews, and also Cafe Osceola Villa, which is our 3-meal-a-day restaurant. I hate calling it that because it's so beautiful and it has such beautiful views and vibrant colors, and the food is amazing.
And of course, that brings us to the featured restaurant.
The beautiful Land Remembered restaurant. Your experience there will be amazing. We have some of the most fabulous items on the menu. The salmon and the different unique gator bites, things like that you'll find are just relevant to our area where we are, but the chef has done an amazing job at preparing and making it unique.
I personally like the wine locker. Really,
we do
very
offer a great collection of wines, and it's great because we can come right off the golf course here. So in the afternoon, it's known as the grill.
So with all this eating, you got to work this off. So you need some exercise area. The pool's here, a relaxation area, but also you can get a little stretch out in the pool too.
Well, we have 4 pools, and then we have a lap pool that comes off of the fitness center. So our spa and fitness center is 13,000 square feet. There are 9 treatment rooms, which can be expanded if needed for groups. But for that little individual, I need a little massage after I've been on this beautiful golf course, we have great options available.
Yeah. There is a huge conference center here that can be used in many different ways, not just business, but for a lot of other things. Tell us a little bit about that.
We have 524,000 square feet of meeting and event space, which includes our outdoor space venues as well. We can do banquets up to, almost 9,000 if you wanted. We're not a little thing, but we operate like a little family, and everybody loves to come to our beautiful property because they're treated like family.
Well, that certainly means there's a lot to do here on the property, and even have a room for the youngsters to keep them busy too, which you need to do if you've got a family down here.
To be honest, the kids love it, but so do the executives. Instead of heading to a bar for a little cocktail before their dinners, you'll see them heading down with a cocktail to the arcade.
We hope you enjoyed our visit to Rosen Shingle Creek, the new Rosen Shingle Creek and Shingle Creek Golf Club, courtesy of Arnold Palmer Golf Design. It's been an eye-opening experience. The location always so convenient. Now the golf course so challenging and exciting, you want to make it a stop on your next visit to Orlando. Thanks to all from all of us at the Traveling Golfer. Look for us somewhere else down the golf trail.
Tony Leodora's Golf Wardrobe, courtesy of Antigua, the leader in modern golf apparel.
Tour Edge is the official equipment sponsor of the Traveling Golfer.